and the two came to Liu Keiran's studio. Liu Keiran saw Zhang Yi coming back and ran over excitedly. "Brother, you're back! Didn't you participate in the mission to encircle and suppress Eclipse? Are you not injured?" She thought of the H explosion that shocked the world and hurried over to check Zhang Yi's body to see if there were any missing parts. "I'm fine, nothing serious." Zhang Yi saw that she was worried about him, and his heart couldn't help but warm up, and he replied with a smile. In the shelter, the only person who could make him relax and communicate the most, Liu Keiran, patted his chest. After not seeing her for a while, the little girl seemed to have grown up a little. "That's great. But what happened to Blizzard City recently? Has Eclipse Moon been wiped out?" Zhang Yi smiled and said, "We'll talk about this later. Let me show you a few things first." Zhang Yi said, and showed them several drugs he had exchanged. The compounds were in the form of tablets, and they could be scraped off a little bit and studied slowly by them. Liu Keiran's ability could analyze the composition of the materials, and Zhou Qier, as a doctor, could analyze the efficacy and side effects of the drugs. Of course, Zhang Yi didn't expect them to be able to copy the drugs. After all, it was much more difficult to create such things than weapons. Bringing them back was just a habit. If Zhou Qier and Yang Xinxin could really do it, it would be the best. In that way, Zhang Yi can solve a problem that he cares about very much, helping Uncle Yu and Fatty Shu to quickly improve their strength. It's not that Zhang Yi dislikes their lack of combat effectiveness, it's just that Zhang Yi's own strength is improving too fast. If he continues like this, the gap between him and others will only get bigger and bigger. Zhou Qier took the medicine and asked curiously, "What kind of medicine is this?" Zhang Yi smiled and said, "It's a very expensive medicine. I spent a huge amount of points to exchange it from Blizzard City." He touched his chin. "It is said that it is a genetic medicine. They have different effects and can help people improve the strength of their superpowers and even increase the probability of awakening superpowers." Zhou Qier and Liu Keiran's eyes lit up when they heard this. "Actually, there is such a good thing. As expected of the Jiangnan region, it's amazing." Zhou Qier frowned slightly. "But the development of drugs is very complicated. Without professional equipment and materials, it will be difficult to replicate it." Liu Keiran pursed his lips and said, "My ability is to combine molecular components, so I don't need that much equipment. However, even if I know the composition structure, I don't know the process of refining the medicine. This is also very difficult." Zhang Yi was prepared, so he was not disappointed. "I may face a big battle next. Please help me find out what its specific effects and side effects are so that I can have a clear idea. As for whether it can be replicated, you can try it more in the future. Do your best. If you can't do it..." Zhang Yi spread his hands. "There is nothing we can do." Zhang Yi has never been a person who makes excessive demands. Zhou Qier immediately said, "I will go back to the infirmary later and scrape off a little powder, which will be enough for research." Zhang Yi nodded. "Okay. There is no rush for this matter." Thinking that Yang Xinxin had just awakened, her superpowers and was still resting, Zhang Yi smiled and said, "Let's go to dinner first. When Xinxin wakes up, I will tell you what has happened recently." In the dining room, Yang Xinxin sat beside Zhang Yi and said, "Brother, Xinxin can help you in the future." Although Yang Xinxin experienced the feeling of death many times, she subconsciously understood that this was just an experiment, and Zhou Qier would save her at the critical moment. Zhang touched her nose and said, "You have been my best helper." But she said that was different. Yang Xinxin leaned close to Zhang Yi, and the warm breath from her mouth was exhaled beside her crystal-clear earlobe. "What exactly is your superpower? Tell me, brother." Yang Xinxin's neck was red, and she lowered her head like a little devil. "Brother, do you want to try it?" Zhang Yi was stunned. "Let me try it?" In other words, is it not a pure attack attribute ability? Yang Xinxin smiled playfully, but said to Zhang Yi gently, "I will not use my ability on my brother." Zhang Yi looked strange. "What kind of ability is it?" Yang Xinxin did not keep Zhang Yi in suspense. She said, "My ability, I named it Angel of Desire. Its ability is to manipulate people's hearts. Love, desire, hatred, all kinds of emotions, as long as the person shot by the angel's arrow will have such feelings from the bottom of his heart, then be controlled by emotions." Yang Xinxin held her face with both hands. Her face flushed morbidly. "You can play with people's hearts at will. What a wonderful ability." Zhang Yi couldn't help swallowing his saliva. The ability to play with people's hearts really fits the heart of this sickly girl. He was also alert in his heart. What if this girl took the opportunity to sneak attack him and made him fall in love with someone or hate someone? It would be miserable. Although he understood that Yang Xinxin would not hurt him. But in the eyes of the sickly girl, good and bad things naturally have different definitions. So he continued to ask indirect questions, trying to find out the characteristics of Yang Xinxin's abilities. Yang Xinxin did not hide anything from Zhang Yi, and told Zhang Yi everything about her known abilities. After listening, Zhang Yi fell into silence for a while, because the abilities obtained through such a terrifying way have extremely high upper and lower limits. If it falls into the hands of an ordinary person, this ability is quite useless, and even playing with fire if you are not careful. But once used properly, it can create incredible effects at the right time. Sure enough, it fits Yang Xinxin's personality. Zhang Yi gave a piece of fish to Xinxin and said, "Come have something to eat." To divert her attention from this topic, Xinxin smiled and said, "Brother, did you encounter any danger when went to wipe out the Eclipse group this time?" Obviously, everyone was very concerned about that foreign organization. After thinking for a moment, Zhang Yi decided to tell everyone the truth. No matter what, everyone had to be mentally prepared, because he couldn't guarantee that Eclipse Moon wouldn't appear in Tianhai City. Zhang Yi calmly told them about Eclipse Moon's situation, and told them the fact that the Jiangnan District headquarters had failed in the encirclement and suppression. Someone in the Eclipse group had the ability to predict the future, which was difficult to deal with. Soon as these words came out, everyone's expressions were filled with surprise and worry. Even the people in Blizzard City failed? Fatty Shu looked incredulous. Didn't they send out an investigation team? At least it's the same level as the Black Robe team back then. Plus, boss, there are more than a dozen mutants from other cities like you. The 13 protectors of the Jiangnan district. You have basically used all the forces you can mobilize, right? You can still lose? Zhang Yi took a deep breath and shook his head helplessly. I didn't expect it either. Not only me. Probably no one could have expected such an outcome. Not only did they lose, but they also lost miserably. The Tianshen team was almost wiped out, and the captain Deng Shentong also died in the battle. Liang Yue interjected. If it weren't for Zhang Yi suddenly coming out and killing 4 members of the Eclipse Moon, this battle would have been a complete and utter defeat. Uncle Yu found it hard to accept. He held his forehead with one hand, his expression extremely painful. Those damn little neons, are they really that strong? Zhang Yi frowned, and in his heart, he was unwilling to accept this. But the facts are in front of you, and you can't just refuse to accept it. At this time, Yang Xinxin suddenly said, I smell the smell of conspiracy from this matter. The dinner table suddenly became quiet, and everyone stopped what they were doing. Fatty Shu put the chicken leg that was near his mouth in the bowl silently. Zhang Yi turned his head and looked at Yang Xinxin next to him. Conspiracy? What conspiracy could there be in such a thing? Yang Xinxin wiped her mouth with a napkin and said calmly, Brother, I have only seen beyond Junwu with the combat power of the captain level, and he is in a seriously injured state and will not live long. Do you think a captain level is easy to kill? Zhang Yi shook his head. What a joke! If I don't know his ability, Even if he appears in front of me now, it will be difficult for me to kill him. Intelligence is extremely important in the battle between mutants. Suddenly, Zhang Yi thought of something. You mean the other party can't kill Deng Shentong and other members of the Tianxian team so easily without knowing their abilities? Yang Xingxin glanced at him and smiled. At worst, we can always escape, right? Zhang Yi thought of Deng Shentong's ability. He knew that Deng Shentong could manipulate light, which is one of the best abilities for concealing attacks and escaping. If a captain level is determined to escape, it will be absolutely difficult to kill him unless the other party is a mutant of the Epsilon level. But does the other party have a mutant of the Epsilon level? According to the feedback from Zhang and others, it is obviously not. If such a being really existed, Eclipse Moon could completely flatten the entire Neon Islands first, and then clash with China. According to intelligence, they cannot directly confront the Kanto boss, Izumo organization. Zhang Yi murmured, but there are mutants with prophetic abilities among them. With this ability, wouldn't it explain the ability of Deng Shentong and others? Yang Xinxin tilted her head and smiled slightly. Brother, if that mutant with prophetic abilities can really predict the opponent's abilities, then I think she is definitely at the level of Epsilon. Because in the duel between mutants, the first-hand intelligence has an impact on the battle situation of more than 30%, and even more than 50% in team battles. They have such a person. Why didn't they kill Izumo in Kanto? Zhang Yi put down the chopsticks in his hand involuntarily. He had not thought about these questions carefully before. However, after hearing Yang Xinxin's analysis, he gradually felt a creepy feeling in his heart. You mean there is a traitor in Blizzard City? Zhang Yi looked at Yang Xinxin and said in disbelief. I don't really want to believe it, Zhang Yi said. Zhou Ke'er also said, there will be a traitor in Blizzard City. This is unlikely. What can they gain if they cooperate with Ronin? Others also expressed their disbelief in this matter. Yang Xinxin said calmly, although this matter sounds outrageous, no matter from which angle we analyze it, the strength of the Jiangnan region is definitely better than that of the Ronin organization. Therefore, if we analyze it from the usual logic, we naturally won't think that there is a ghost in Blizzard City. But what if we think about it from another angle? Could it be that someone in Blizzard City deliberately used the Eclipse Moon to deal with the Celestial God Squad? As far as I know, the inside of Blizzard City is not a monolithic entity. Zhang Yi's words instantly reminded Zhang Yi. The Deng family has very high prestige and power in Blizzard City. Deng Shentong is the successor of the Deng family. Secondly, there are rumors that the Deng family intends to promote Deng Shentong to the position of Zhang's successor. After all, in the end times, life and death are unpredictable, and no one knows how long Zhang can live. There is even a possibility that Zhang himself wants to eliminate Deng Shentong. If you like my content and want to keep up with future updates, hit that subscribe button. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video.